everybody. Okay, there is one thing that is so important for us to do if we want to reach our fat loss goals quickly, and that is focus on controlling our insulin levels. And today I have 5 ways for you to control them absolutely naturally. My name is Terrell and I'm one of the coaches here at Beyond 40. And one thing that I think pretty much everybody knows is that insulin is our storage hormone. So we eat a meal or a snack or whatever, our pancreas produces insulin, and that insulin shuffles off to storage all of the extra energy from that meal or snack or whatever. And our storage is our liver, our muscles, and when those are full, it obviously is going to spill over into our fat cells. But what I think most people don't know is that there's another hormone that our pancreas produces, and that is called glucagon. And glucagon and insulin, they are opposites. They work in completely different ways. So while insulin is pushing things off to be stored, glucagon is pulling things out of storage for immediate use. Now, the big deal is that although they're antagonists, insulin is dominant over glucagon. So when we have an insulin response, we are suppressing our ability to produce glucagon. And this is so important because what it means is that anytime that we have insulin present, we are not using stored energy for fuel. Okay, this is the reason we really need to control our insulin levels so that we have the ability to use our stored fat. Okay, how are we gonna do it? Here it is. The first thing I want you to do, pay attention to your carbs. And I said pay attention, not eliminate them. It is very important that we don't completely eliminate them. We love carb cycling here. Carb cycling helps keep your leptin levels high, which is a hunger hormone, and also it helps keep your thyroid hormones high and running smoothly. And we definitely need that because our thyroids are so important and will literally determine if our bodies will even allow fat loss. So, quick overview of carb cycling: 4 to 5 days a week, protein and vegetables. All day long. If you have fats with it, that's fine. You like to roast your vegetables in olive oil, go for it. 2 to 3 days a week, we're gonna cycle in 1 or 2 meals with carbs. I'm talking nutrient-dense carbs like your fruits, potatoes, white rice, okay? Add those in, but when you have a meal with any of those starches or fruits, I want you to pull back on your fats because we don't wanna have all the energy and the insulin response from a carb meal while we're high in fats, because that fat is gonna be shuffled off because we don't need it in that minute for energy, okay? Number 2 brings me right into intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting and carb cycling go beautiful together. But there are a few things I'd like you to pay attention to with the intermittent fasting also. Number 1, please add this into your world. But number 2, women, keep it to 14 hours overnight, 3 meals during the day, no snacks. Men, 16 to 18 hours is fine. Just pay very close attention if you're scooting up to 18 hours, because I would still love you to have those 3 meals. If you have 2, that's fine. Just make sure you're not getting too low in calories, because there's a big difference between fasting and eating too low of a calorie diet. Where fasting will protect your metabolism, too low of calorie diet will actually ruin your metabolism. So we really want to make sure that we're fasting and not starving. Okay, also, for women, if you go beyond 14 hours, it can affect your cortisol levels. And as we age, we're over 40, during menopause, our cortisol levels kind of go through the roof as it is. So we don't want to double down on that cortisol, because you cannot use stored fat for energy at all in the presence of cortisol, because it causes an insulin response. So keep your fasting down to 14 hours to try to control some of that cortisol. And for both men and women, if you notice your weight loss slow or stall while you're fasting, please resist the urge to fast more. In fact, I would love you to go the other way and pull back on the fasting just a little bit and maybe reset some hormones that have maybe gotten out of whack if we've done it a little bit too much. Now, we're gonna move on to number 3, which I love because it's exercise. And exercise is so much more than a way to burn calories. And we love to focus on this calorie burning because it's kind of how our world works today. We have watches, we have trackers, we have everything that's telling us how many calories we take in and how many calories we put out. And you do need to be in somewhat of a calorie deficit to be able to control your weight or to lose weight. However, a lot of studies lately are showing that focusing on your hormones versus your calories is going to help you get to your weight loss goals much quicker. So exercise, the one thing that I love that it does is that it increases your leptin or your insulin sensitivity. So what that means is that you need less insulin to use and take care of the same amount of glucose. So for the same meal, if your insulin increase was up here, once you become more insulin sensitive, it actually decreases the amount of insulin that you have to put out to take care of the glucose from your meal. So this is awesome. Plus, during exercise, you're more likely to use the glucose that is stored in your muscles. So post-workout, your muscles are they're like a sponge trying to soak up glucose to re-up their stores. And in this minute, you don't need insulin to do it. So you're able to take care of that blood sugar before you have an insulin response. So you're way back to that glucagon, which is helping you use that stored energy. That is beautiful and a great situation to be in. Now, number 4 and 5 are a little more of a lifestyle, and they can be a little bit more difficult sometimes to incorporate because we have kind of set ourselves up for this. So number 4 is sleep. And I've said in so many videos and a million times, our quality of our sleep equals the quality of our life. Literally, a lack of sleep or sleep deprivation causes high glucose levels, period. No way around it, which in turn causes that increase in insulin. And in that state, we cannot use our stored energy. Like we've said, also, when we are in a state of sleep deprivation, it decreases our leptin levels, which, like we said before too, makes us so hungry, like hormonal hungry. You will eat when your leptin levels drop. Not only that, but sleep deprivation makes you crave sugar and fat because it affects your reward center in your brain and it makes you feel better, makes you feel less tired. However, the sugar-fat combination is the exact combination that causes fat storage. So a lack of sleep can do a lot of damage and prevent you from being able to use or lose stored fat. The last one is actually going to help you. Number 5 is going to help you with number 4. So number 5 is to reduce stress. And this can be so difficult because we live in these active, high stress, go, go, go worlds. But if we can do anything, even the tiniest little bit of reducing stress, we are going to get so much farther because you literally cannot lose fat when you are having a cortisol response because you're having an insulin response, and there's no way. So no matter how hard you diet, no matter how long you fast, no matter how good you eat, if you are so stressed out that your cortisol levels never drop down, you cannot use that stored fat. So please take a few minutes out of every day, go for a walk outside, take a deep breath, find a quiet space where you can get some peace. Not only that, but when we reduce that stress, we're going to get better sleep, and we're going to double down on all of these results. So I hope that you can incorporate all 5 of these, but even if you can't, start with 1 or 2 and add the other ones in when these become part of your life. So anyway, if you have any questions on carb cycling or intermittent fasting or anything else that we talked about, please drop them in the comments. I am so happy to help. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you next time.